Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Cammie and Karen Go Keto. We are on our way to transitioning from a standard American diet to a carnivore slash ketogenic diet. And we both went keto. And we've been talking a lot about carnivore. We both consider ourselves carnivore now. But Cammie wanted to revisit the whole keto thing because maybe people think that we're not keto also. So let's talk about that. Cammie, I'm going to hand it over to you and cough.
Okay, we're both still getting over our little colds here. But hi everybody. I just wanted to be sure that we're reaching out to the people who are still, ketogenic on a ketogenic diet and trying to work that way. Because I feel like a carnivore diet gets even more specific and then keto gets more specific than the standard American diet. And it's always a transition, right? This is what we're talking about. This is what our channel's about. How we're always transitioning from one lifestyle to another. And things just don't happen overnight. Things take time, and it takes time to get things out of your diet, things that you might enjoy or things that you're used to preparing or things that you're used to eating. And when I first started back in 2023 in September on a ketogenic diet, I started watching my carbs. And Karen said, you'll have to eat less than 20 grams of carbs a day if you want to start losing some weight. And I remember I didn't say anything, but I remember thinking, screw that. I'm eating 100 carbs a day because I was probably eating 300 carbs a day. So I started paying attention to my macros and to my carbohydrates. And I started eating 100 grams a day of carbs. And then I started eating 75 and then 50. And sure enough, I had to get down to 20 to start looking at losing a little bit of weight. So as we say, KRAAA, Karen, right again and again. And so but it took time to do that. It took me a month. I remember 1 week and then I dropped it down. And then a couple of weeks I stayed at 75. I had a lot of, wrestling with my wanting my food and wanting my blueberries and wanting my fruit and wanting my apples and wanting, paying attention to the, eating my protein chips, which had carbs in them. And then ultimately, after that, I had to start looking at my sugar intake because I realized that the fake sugars I was eating in some of these little peanut butter cups of a certain name brand that starts with an A, they had that fake sugar in it, the maltitol and maltitol. I can't remember how it's named, but it was something that I loved eating those things. And I just was living toward eating those things every day. And then I realized it was the sweet I had to get rid of too. So that sent forth me on an entire journey of working on getting sugar and flour completely out of my life, which is a journey I'm still on and still actively pursuing that. Although I have to say, on the carnivore diet, you don't really eat sugar or flour at all. So this has been something that's really helped me overcome that part of it. So it's kind of a progression, and we just want you to understand that we can follow you, wherever you are along your road. And hopefully we have something to offer you every week, going back to some of our old videos, if you're more on the ketogenic side, might be something you might want to do.
Well, and I'd like to add that I do a lot of research online, watching a lot of YouTube videos in the carnivore sphere, in the keto sphere. And I would say probably one of the best ones to watch is Dr. Ken Berry. He is a medical doctor. He's a GP and he has a great community. And I mean, there are others, and Dr. Berg. And Dr. Berg, Eric Berg, he's more ketogenic. Dr. Berry, I don't know, he himself is carnivore. And I do believe that the carnivore is a really good end point for people to have their diets ending in carnivore. But I think to get there, carnivore is just a subset of ketogenic because it is a form of the ketogenic diet. Everybody online says do not go. I mean, unless you have a severe health reason that says you need to go carnivore right now, which no medical doctor is going to tell you that, I don't think. But because you have a lot of gut biome changes that you have to transition to before it becomes easy for your body to just process meat products, especially because of the fat content and sometimes of how you prepare the fat, right? If you've got liquid fat, it's going to give you more likely to give you diarrhea. I think other things are more likely to constipate you. So what I think it, like, if you're like me, which I didn't have any health issues at all, as far as biomarkers, all my markers weren't good good place. And I just wanted to do this because of, the whole thing that my husband went through before he passed away. And I just know that this is the way we're meant to eat because this is how we ate for millions of years. And there's no reason why we should be eating the way we've been eating sort of for the last 10,000 years when agriculture started to take over. So what I would say to that is you got to choose your poison, right? And to make it easy for you, do you want to give up sugar first? And then, I mean, if you look at most baked products, bakery products, all have sugar and flour. But the idea is that you want to be able to maintain it and sustain it and transition into the next phase for you. So it might be you get rid of your sugars, no baked goods. To me, that was the easiest thing. And that's the, eating out issue too, right? Say no to the bread basket, say no to the chips, say no to eating out entirely. Whatever works for you, say no. To get to carnivore, you say no to the fruit and no to the vegetables, but obviously fruits have much more sugar than vegetables do, right? So there's various reasons why you choose what you choose, but are you like me and you eat out a lot? Makes life different than if you are eating at home. Makes life different if you're cooking for other people. Just know if you think that sugar is poison, you probably shouldn't be poisoning your children and your husband or wife, right? It's like you stick
or friends like I
yeah,
did
or
the other day.
friends. Yeah. So, and those are the things like Cammie was still buying chocolate for a friend of hers. And it's like, oh, you know what? Or for, a person that she was going to meet. And it's like, no, don't make your first reaching out to somebody being here's some poison. And then if you don't think it's poison, then you have to look at your own values again and your overall why. But what we can tell you is everything points to the more that you get out of your diet, you get rid of the sugar and you're just eating, let's say, pizza crust, because clearly pizza crust has sugar in it. But if you're looking at eating a Twinkie versus eating pizza crust, I think that the likelihood is that it's better to eat the pizza crust than it is to eat the Twinkie. That's so ultra processed. And most things say get rid of the ultra processed foods, then your processed foods. I just watched somebody the other day. Who was it? But at any rate, she was talking about addiction and dairy having the casomorphine in it, which makes it addictive. She made a good point, and that was cow's milk is very high in it because the idea is to put 500 pounds on a calf in 1 year's time. That's how much a calf will grow. So that's what you're doing if you're drinking milk, whether it's raw milk or not raw milk. But clearly, if you're pasteurizing the milk, you're taking out all the good parts of it. You're taking out the microbiome bacteria that you need to have a good microbiome. So the question is maybe get rid of milk, get rid of cheese. But for me and Cammie, those were the latest things. I'm still not totally milk free. I'm sure in a year or two I will be. But it took me a long time to get used to eating steak.
I absolutely agree. And I had 2 ounces of Dubliner cheese like 2 days ago. And I'm drinking my tea with a little bit of cream in it. The cream is the last to go. And I miss those foods. I'm not going to lie. I love cheese. I love cottage cheese. I love yogurt. I love, all the dairy I really enjoy.
But if that's because it's addictive, because of a component of it that's addictive, we really don't want to live our lives under an addiction because clearly that's going to have other ramifications in your body besides the fact that you can say, I love it, right? It's going to be doing something to your brain.
Plus, you have to remember too how you feel when you're not on it. The less dairy I eat, the better I feel. Yeah. And it's taken a long time. I had to weed out a lot of other stuff because to get to that. And even little things like when I went and did the video of emptying my sugar items into the trash like a month ago, or no, 6 weeks ago, maybe. It was a while ago. I had I had salad dressing that didn't have a lot of sugar in it, but it had some sugar in it. And I was eating my cucumbers in that vinaigrette dressing, and it was a balsamic vinaigrette. Excuse me. So, those are things that come later, at the beginning, eat your cucumbers with your dressing. You know what I mean? I mean, that's much better than a Snickers bar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And for me, what I was doing, that chocolate malt every single day, right? That I can't believe I mean, now I look back and go, how could you do that? I mean, I knew it wasn't healthy. It was just comforting. And now I look back and go, I do not want to be comforted like that ever again. I know that it's not healthy.
Right. But at the time you do the best that you can do. And that's it. And be aware of what you're doing and know that you're doing it and do the best that you can do. And Yeah, I think it's really funny when we think back on our progress and how far we've come and, how well things are going. And it discourages me that I haven't really lost a lot of weight yet, but I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I
Well,
just have
and
to be patient.
I created a calendar today and putting in there like fasting days and eating out days and working out days because my goal now is to join a gym. And who knows? I mean, I'm one of those people, I could join a gym and not actually start working out for another 3 months or something, right? I might just have to get acclimated to it because it's not one of my biggest goals.
To paying the bill.
Yeah. So but it's fun. And, probably 6 months from now, I'll look at it and go, I can't believe you just thought you were having issues that you couldn't eat out every day for breakfast. And that this was going to be such a hard transition to start fasting and working out twice a week. We'll see.
Right. So I think that, we're saying, be motivated, be patient, be kind to yourself, give yourself some grace, and just, keep trudging the road, keep trudging that road of making those changes. And, then when you get to look back a few months later, you'll be pleased with some of your results.
All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Take care. Bye.